Yeah, just leave it.
We are missing our chairman and our vice chair, so I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask that you elect someone to fill that space right now. Pro Tem, any motions?
I move that Mr. Adams be elected Chair Pro Tem.
All yours, Mr. Adams.
Thank you. Thanks for calling the meeting to order. The next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the April 25th, 2019 MAPS 3 Citizens Advisory Board. A copy of those minutes have been provided. Does anybody have any comments or changes?
Move approval of the minutes.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. The next item is to receive the MAPS 3 Revenue and Expenditure Report ending April 30th, 2019, and the MAPS 3 Budget and Obligation Report as of May 8th, 2019. David?
Thank you, Mr. Adams. What you have in your packet is the MAPS 3 Revenue and Expenditure Report for the period ending April 30th, 2019. On the revenue side for the month is $30,682 for fiscal year of $5,395,024. And for total program revenue, $829,231,977. On the expenditure side for the month, $6,574,697. Fiscal year of $111,930,720, and total expenditures of $546,585,639. Then you also have your budget and obligations report for the period of May 8th. 2019, and you can see those expenditures for each of the programs, and I'll try to answer any questions you might have.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
Mike, just one question, David, about the sales tax. Are those just accounting adjustments, or are we actually still
on the revenue? Yeah, they're either adjustments from the state. It's interest. There's also. Well, yeah, on this one, it's all just adjustments.
Okay, thank you.
I think, Bob, that the state audits companies on sales taxes from time to time and go back and collect past due taxes, and if it falls within our period, then we get those audited funds back.
Right, that's what it is.
Okay. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we receive the revenue and expenditure report. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Okay, next, David, we have a presentation on the Oklahoma City 1% art ordinance.
Right, we wanted to give you an update on the 1% for Art project. Several of the subcommittees saw updates, and I wanted to bring to the board a complete update. And we've kept Randy Marks very busy this week, and we appreciate him very much, all the work that he's put into this. So Randy Marks from the Planning Department is here to give you an update on all this great art that we're putting into the projects.
Thank you very much, David. Appreciate that. And thank you for the opportunity to come here today and update you on the various projects that we're able to work with you on. So you see the list. I'm Randy Marks in the Office of Arts and Cultural Affairs. You see on the list the 10 active projects that we have ongoing right now. This is a significant part of our workload, and we're really excited about all of the projects. First one is the Convention Center, and this is the largest project that we have going on right now, $1.3 million art award. Council authorized us to negotiate a contract with the artist Susan Narduli at the May 7th council meeting. We've had multiple conversations with Susan and her artist team since then. We anticipate sending a first draft of the contract to Susan next week. When I called Susan's references, one of them in particular from the city of Palo Alto, I said, this is Randy Marks, told her why I was calling. I said, we're working with Susan Narduli, and before I could finish my sentence, she said, lucky you. So all three of the references, this was their attitude. Great artist and a great one to work with. The piece that she has proposed for the convention center is called Virtual Sky, and it is an interlocking three-dimensional array of titanium tubes and LED lights, fully programmable. So essentially it creates a 3D television screen, and it's going to be able to reflect the dynamism of the Oklahoma sky as a virtual sky inside the convention center. Skipped one there, I'll go back. So our second largest award right now is to Studio KCA in Brooklyn, and it is for the sculpture that will be at the northeast corner of the Scissortail Park, the Upper Scissortail Park. This piece called Taking Flight consists of over 660,000 discs that comprise a 29-foot sphere that represents all the citizens of Oklahoma City coming together to create something really dynamic and then flying off into the future. Studio KCA, which is primarily two artists, Leslie Chang and Jason Klamoski, have an increasingly large international reputation. We feel extremely lucky to have gotten them right now because we think this is going to be a significant piece not only for the city, but also an attraction definitely nationwide as people are interested in seeing the work of these two young artists. We just received the purchase order for this, sent the artist a notice to proceed. We expect them to make a site visit within the next couple of weeks so that we can get the actual fabrication of the piece underway. It'll probably be installed approximately a year from now. So at the State Fairgrounds at the MAPS 3 Bennett Event Center, the artist chosen was Cliff Garton, and he proposed a sculpture called Virga that will be installed in the ceiling of the lobby of the event center. We're in contract negotiations with the artist right now. The ball is in their court. We expect to hear back from them on all of our responses to their request. We expect that we'll hear something by the middle of next week, and we anticipate moving quickly to a contract so that the project can proceed. We anticipate that it could be towards the end of this year or first of next year when the piece is actually installed. And with the increasingly busy schedule at the event center, the artist will be working very closely with all of the staff at the fair to be sure that we can get it installed at a time that when there isn't too much going on and we won't disrupt any activities out there. At the Wellness Center, Senior Health and Wellness Center number 2, by the way, the picture is just a placeholder for what may be done down there. The operator of the center requested that we have projects that will engage the membership of wellness in the creation of the artwork for the center. So we proposed this to our attorney, Rita Douglas Talley, and she said we need to get this question answered. So first of all, the overall question is it a proper use of city funds to be able to engage the public in the creation of the work? Normally we hire an artist to do the work, and the artist handles all aspects of the contract. So this overall question involves two other questions. Does the stakeholder involvement in any way change city ownership of the artwork itself? And the second question is providing stakeholders with materials to be used in making the art any different from an artist buying materials and creating the work. We have drafted a memo that has gone back and forth 2 or 3 times, so we think that we have all the wording right, and it's going to be distributed to all of the city attorneys. And we're just waiting for some images that we have requested from an architectural firm that has been involved in projects that involved a lot of stakeholder participation. So as soon as we get those images, then we will forward those to all of the attorneys. Now, we're ready to go either way. It is decided on this. If the attorneys say, yes, this is a proper use of funds, we'll go ahead and we will send out RFQs to artists for that type of artwork. If not, then we will proceed with other artwork for Wellness number 2. At Wellness number 1, the second project, which was an exterior art screen, was completed by artist Jonathan Hills, who is a sculpture professor at OU. And everybody was very, very happy with the piece and not so happy about the way that the footings were left exposed. There were engineering reasons why this had to be the way it is, but it just so happens that we have some money set aside in contingency for things like this that happen. So we're actually going to have a third small project that will be completed by one of our environmental artists from the pre-qualified artist pool that will mitigate the visual impact of those bases. So we're working with the Parks Department landscape architect to come up with some descriptions of the design, and then the artist will actually do the design and implement the work. At Lake Draper Trail, we divided the overall project into 3 smaller projects at 3 different sites. The first site is on a peninsula on the west side of the lake, and the site is near the water and is visible from the marina as well as being visible from the trail. The artist is Daniel Moore, and the contract for this project was approved at council on the May 21st docket. His piece called B52 is a 15-plus foot kinetic sculpture that will move very slowly in the wind. It's all steel construction and has elements of aerospace, nature, and also has a nod to bicycle riders, if you notice the bicycle handlebar element on the piece. Site number 2 is at a location where the trail and Stanley Draper Drive cross each other, broad open field. The piece that was selected is Convergence by Don Narcomi, and it is constructed of boydark wood and hard red sandstone. The third site on the west side of the trail, the artwork that was selected by the selection committee is Booyakar by artist Gabriel Friedman. At the council meeting on Tuesday, Councilman Stone requested that this be separated from the consent docket and be considered separately, and then a motion was made to delay approval of this for 2 weeks because he wanted to understand more about the artwork and more about the site. As soon as I left the meeting, I sent an email to his staff requesting that we have a meeting on site. He graciously accepted, so we're going to meet with Councilman Stone, and as many of you as would like to come to that meeting as possible, we invite all of you. The artist and Councilman Stone will be able to discuss the site and the work, and we will proceed from there. If it's accepted, of course, we will, at the next time it can go to council, we'll proceed. If not, then we will go back to the selection committee and get advice from them on how to proceed with the third project. At the West River Trail, Clint Shore was selected and is well into fabrication. In the lower left-hand corner, you can see the 8-foot-tall constructed boulders that will be used in this piece called glacial erratics. And work has progressed since then. That picture is probably about 3 weeks old. He's about 60% through with construction. The process has been hung up a little bit in development services. There were some questions about permitting that specifically had to do with floodways near Crystal Lake. You see the location there on the trail near Crystal Lake. All of those have now been resolved, and so we anticipate getting a final permit from development services within 2 to 3 days. So you see the expected completion date of June 21st on here. That's probably a little bit optimistic to think that we can still make that. It will probably be early in July when the piece is actually completely installed at West River Trail. At Will Rogers Trail, you see the piece called The Wind by Florida artist Paul Balaker. This piece was in the Coles collection at Coles Garden, and when the Coles Garden was sold, Susan Coles made a number of the sculptures that were at the garden available to the city and to nonprofit organizations. The Parks Department specifically requested this and said it would be a great addition to the trail site in Will Rogers Park. The selection committee concurred and chose a site, And currently, the base for this piece is being, the engineering is being done right now. We anticipate the completion of that next week. The donation agreement will go to council on June 4th. We expect it to be installed in probably in August, and either at that time or very soon thereafter, a companion project will be done. You see the wind turbine to the left. Parks requested that the piece be able to be lighted, and if it was lighted by a wind turbine, we obviously have the association between a piece called the wind and the wind lighting it up. So that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions about any of the projects, I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Does anybody have any comments or questions?
I have a comment. Randy, I just want to say in particular the pieces on the trails, the Trail and Sidewalk Committee was very pleased with those, and we're looking forward to the continued discussion on Booyah, and hopefully that'll go forward because the committee really liked it. And I'm very excited to see that you're pursuing the possibility for that community participation on that mural project at Wellness Center number 2. I hope that goes through.
Thank you very much for those comments.
I have a question. Do you have any concerns about maintenance and protection of some of these more remote art projects out on the trails and things as to how we maybe prevent vandalism or destruction of them?
The short answer to that is yes, and we won't be able to stop some kind of vandalism on any of them. The longer answer is that oftentimes artwork gets a pass, not always by any means whatsoever, but oftentimes it gets a pass. We notice this particularly in regard to murals, in which murals tend to be not tagged very often by graffiti artists. A lot of times there is a certain kind of respect that is carried by the artwork. We don't know exactly why this is the case, but there seems to be a little bit of an element of protection. However, I can guarantee you that each one of these pieces will be climbed on and will be vandalized in such way. And so we try to mitigate the risk as much as possible. So we don't think that in any of the cases they're going to present any kind of maintenance problem. All of the artists are requested to address this in the proposal, and each of them has addressed that. I'm going to use Clint Shore's piece, Glacial Erratics, as an example. So a lot of broad surfaces there that may be a target for graffiti. It will be easy to remove if there is vandalism on the pieces. If it is not removed, in a sense, it becomes something like Cadillac Ranch out in West Texas, where the graffiti actually becomes part of the piece. And depending on what it is, if it is graffiti that is not offensive, which in case would be removed immediately, it may be allowed to stay and be allowed to accumulate that patina over the years.
Yeah, I was thinking more along with the ones that were more active, the mobiles and the windmills and things like that, that if people climbed around on those, what would be the effect of that?
There is the possibility. In both cases, the elements that are more at risk are very sturdily constructed, and they're high, physically high off the ground. So there is a possibility that somebody will try to climb the pole. Our attorney Craig Keith, not our attorney, but attorney Craig Keith for Aquit, told us several horror stories of things that had happened. So we know that people are going to try to do something, but they're going to be engineered and constructed in such a way that they can stand some abuse and that they won't present a risk to the public.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 5 on the agenda is recommend resolution approving amendment number 9 to the contract for architectural services with Populous, Inc., MAPS 3 Convention Center, increase of $415,000, project M3-C003.
Right, so this is an amendment to the design contract with Populous relating to the convention center. And one of the things that has been brought up is enhancement of 4th Street. And 4th Street is the street between the Omni Hotel and the convention center. And the comments have been, we want to make that a destination area. That needs to be an exciting place. So this is additional fee for them to do some design work on whether that is lighted, whether it's covered. Don't know at this point what it's going to be, but we're going to start in that direction and make that a great place where people want to go and hang out. So this comes with the approval from the subcommittee.
Been moved and approved. Second, yeah, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. Item 6 on the agenda is recommend resolution approving change order number 12, MAPS 3 Convention Center increase of $735,763.48, project M3-C003.
So this is a change order for the convention center. It's a sizable change order, but I will explain the pieces. There's various things in here that you would expect for a over $200 million project. And then I want to point out there's also some credits, item 10 and 11, some credits, item 12. But the bulk of the change order are 2 items. So item number 3 is the street light foundations and electrical service. So when we did the plans, the lights were shown, and these are the street lights. These are the lights that are out on Broadway, on 6th and 7th, and they're on Robinson. They're the Project 180 standard lights. They're street light with a pedestrian light on them also. Those were shown on the plans. Unfortunately, the plans said that they were to be done by others.
Interrupt, but we just got notified by the Oklahoma City Police Department that we need to evacuate this building at this time, so through the west entrance. So let's stand adjourned and leave the west entrance. Thank you.
And Carol, you agree that we still have a quorum? All right, we are on item 6 on the agenda. David?
Okay, item 6, I've lost my train of thought here. Item 6 has several items on it. Most of them are routine in nature, and there's even 3 credits on here for some elevator equipment. The significant items are the street light foundations and electrical service. So on the plans on the convention center, it showed all of the street lights. It showed street lights on Robinson, on 6th, on 7th, on Broadway, and but it said, unfortunately, it had a note that said by others. The architect assumed that OG&E would put those in like they do in other cities, but OG&E does not do that for Project 180 style lighting because it's considered a special light. Therefore, the development or the convention center has to put in those lights. They need to be put in now before the plaza is built, before all the concrete is put down, so we need to get the foundations in the ground and get the conduit in. Now what we did do is we took the contractor's numbers that he gave us for this change order and compared them with a contract that the city has for doing this very kind of lighting. And they were almost identical. They came in right where they should have been. So we're very confident that these are good numbers. It's a big number, but there's 47 of these light bases and conduits attaching. This also includes a new circuit, the ability for all those street lights to be connected and to be lit up. So it is a cost that would have been in the project had they not put a note on there that said by others, and we feel like we have verified the costs adequately. Then the other significant item is $220,000 for pedestrian bridge structural support. If you recall, we've talked a whole lot about the pedestrian bridge, and the pedestrian bridge was to be connected to the parking garage, to the face of the garage itself. We're still waiting on final design, and in order not to hold up the erection of steel and be charged for remobilization charges and make any kind of changes with steel that has already started the fabrication process, we're going to build a structure that holds the end of that bridge on the north side so that the parking garage can connect to that. We don't have to wait for the parking garage to be constructed. So this pays for those foundations and columns to support the other end of the pedestrian bridge.
The Convention Center Subcommittee looked at this, and I might say asked a lot of questions about it and got a full briefing about it. And I think that Sue and I left that subcommittee meeting thinking that this was well explained. This still does not represent more than, this would take us just over 1% of the original cost, so we're still well within our budget, and the total change orders are, even though this is a substantial one, the change orders are, in terms of the whole contract, pretty minimal. Anything you want to add, Sue? Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Are there further questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved. All right, I want to take a minute before we go to 7 to check with everybody about their time. We have 6 or more items that we need to consider and vote on today, and we'll try to run through those with dispatch. Is everyone all right if we take them up individually? All right then. With that admonition, David.
Okay.
The next item is yours.
Item 7 is recommend joint resolution approving change order number 9, Maps 3 Upper Park, increase of $60,515.83, project M3-P006/WC0920. Again, park under construction. There are some modifications to some lights, some fiber optic modifications, and then the most significant is some backflow preventers and enclosures for the misting systems. Did not anticipate that misting systems needed backflow preventers, but the inspectors during inspection have required those. So this comes with recommendation from those that were present at the subcommittee.
Are there questions for David? They did have 6 members there. I was there, and this was also fully vetted there as well. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. We approve the resolution as presented. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved. David, item 8.
Item 8 is a recommended resolution awarding contract to TEPCO Glass LLC in the amount $207,628 Bennett Event Center door improvements and approving contract and bonds project M3-F002H. So if you recall, when we did a partial final on this building, we retained some monies from the contractor for some of these things that needed to be fixed. The experience that the Fairgrounds has had with the doors is that the existing aluminum hinges, there's 3 hinges instead of being a continuous hinge. They're experiencing failure because of the use and abuse that they're seeing out there. So what we want to do is change this to a continuous hinge that extends all along the door. There's several things to talk about on here. One is that TEPCO Glass was the original contractor on this. They are going to remove doors in 3 different sections, a third at a time, so that there's still the building is still usable and that the facility is not shut down. So they will remove those doors, secure the doors that have been moved, ship them to Kansas to a company called Ymca, and Ymca has offered to change those hinges free of charge and reroute and do the manufacture that needs to be done to put those hinges on. And then TEPCO is going to bring those back and reinstall them. Then there's also some hardware that's going to be changed because of desire from the Fairgrounds. They want to be able to lock the openers so that you can't lock the door during big events and there's less wear and tear on the hardware itself. And then there's insurance and bonds and some allowance for miscellaneous items in there. So this is a bit of an unusual contract, but we think it is a very good contract and a good way to address this issue that we're having with the doors out there. And this comes with the approval from the subcommittee.
All right. Further questions or discussion? Been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution as presented. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved. Item 9, David.
Item 9 is recommend joint resolution approving term sheet for the lease and management agreement between the City of Oklahoma City Public Property Authority, and YMCA of Greater Oklahoma City, MAPS 3 Senior Health and Wellness Center Number 4 Operating Partner Project M3-H005A. So this is the term sheet that you've seen 3 other times. We've done this the same way with the other wellness centers, and this just further moves along the process of working with YMCA for the 4th Wellness Center. Kelly Kay was here. He had to leave after our hour and a half delay that we just had.
Been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution. One of the things that was discussed at the meeting that will be of interest to you is does this set a location? And the answer is no. We're just entering into an agreement with them, and the location is still a matter to be determined. So that will not be, we would not be deciding that by approving this. All right. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved. Item 10.
Item 10 is recommend resolution approving change order number 3 and amendment number 4, MAPS 3 Phase 3 Project 1 trail improvements. Lake Draper Trail increase of $65,411.25, project M3-T003. So as we continue with construction on this project, and we're very close to completion. We're like 99% complete on this. We've got some quantity adjustments, and we had really the majority of this is some sod. So we had extensive conversations with the contractor whether he had denuded the land or whether it was something that should have been done. So we came to an agreement, and this is where we are. And this comes with the approval from those, or the recommendation from those that were there at the subcommittee.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution as submitted. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved. Number 9, David.
Item number 11 is recommend resolution approving change order number 3 and amendment number 3, Maps 3, Phase 3, Project 2, Trail Improvements, Lake Draper Trail, increase of $452,986.35. Project M3-T003A. Again, at the Draper Trail, this project is about 60 to 70% complete, and much like we did with the third phase of the trail, as we cleared brush and found the lay of the land exactly out there and went along and wanted to work with the Parks Department to make sure that we didn't have water flowing across the trail, which would bring dirt and make it dangerous for bicyclists and such. Some additional grading had to be done. And then there was also some ditch lining that is being done, so some of the ditches get a bit steep. So we're doing a concrete product that comes in a mat that lays down and allows the grass to grow through it. Will help armor that because of the sandy soil out there. So also this comes with the recommendation from those that were present.
Been moved and seconded. We approve the resolution. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution is approved. David, we've got to think about using these Roman numerals. All right. Item 12.
Item 12 is recommend resolution approving amendment number 3, Maps 3 Trail Improvements, Phase 3, Project 3, Lake Draper Trail, increase of $3,968.64, Project M3-T003B. This is for extension of some reinforced concrete box culvert. Again, as we work along with construction, some things come up.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved. Let me just say at this point, thank you all for your patience and for staying with us so that we had a quorum to complete the business, which was really important for us to keep going forward with the project. So thank you for your patience. Those are the things that need to be approved. We're going to complete the agenda for those of you that can stay. Thank you. All right. Is there any new business? All right. Item 14. Am I reading that Roman numeral right, David?
Yes, sir.
Item 14, any subcommittee reports? All right. David, do you have anything to add under item 15 for the MAF program update?
Ms. Lowe asked me to extend her apologies that she couldn't be here. She had some family issues in New Jersey that she had to attend, so she asked me to tell you that. The only update I have is that we continue to hang steel in the convention center. Things are going great there. The rain continues to slow us down a bit on the trail and on the park, but the park is starting to really take shape, looking great. We just need it to dry up.
All right. That brings us then to item 16. You've found in your packets the 2 informational items that are listed. And are there any questions or any discussion of those informational items that were included? If not, then we'll move to item 17. Any comments by the board? Staff, Carol, anything else you need to tell us? Mark? All right. At the risk of being overly optimistic, I'm going to say we don't have any citizens here that have waited with us. Are there citizens that want to be heard? If not, would you like to move? We were going to adjourn. Councilman Stone-Cypher?
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. We're adjourned. Thank you all for your patience today.